Good morning, students. You're welcome in the first chapter of your social science course, Know Your Planet. Our Earth is a unique planet. It is the only planet in our solar system that has water and air. Our Earth has large land masses that are called continents, and large water bodies are called oceans. Now, the shape of the Earth. In ancient times, people believed that the earth was flat and had steep edges. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer, sailed around the world and proved that the earth is round. And some pictures taken from the space have also proved that the earth is like a sphere. It is actually round in shape but is slightly flattened at the top and at the bottom and little bulgy at the middle. Now, a globe. To study the earth we need its model, and a globe is a simple and accurate model of the earth. It shows the distribution of land and water on the surface of the earth, and we can also see the correct shape, size and location of the continents and oceans on a globe. But we cannot always use a globe to study the earth because a globe has some limitations. What are these? Number one, a large globe is difficult to carry around. Number two, a globe is small and all the details of the place cannot be shown on it. Number three is we cannot make a globe for a part of the earth. And number four is only one half of the earth can be seen at a time on a globe. So we want some other means to study the earth. Okay, what about maps? A map is a representation of the earth's surface or a part of it on a flat surface. The word map comes from the Latin word mappo, which means a napkin. Gradus Mercator, a map maker, was the first to publish a collection of maps in the form of a book. And a book of maps is called an atlas. We can draw maps on a flat surface to show continents, countries, cities, and even a neighborhood. And you can also draw a map of your school and show all the details on it. In this way, we can say that a map is better than a globe. However, the earth is spherical in shape and its surface is curved. And a curved surface cannot be shown correctly on a flat surface such as paper. If you try to cover a ball with a sheet of paper without creasing it, so can you be able to do this? No. So it is not possible to make an accurate map of a curved surface. However, small areas can be represented fairly or accurately on maps. This makes maps useful tools to study the earth. Now, types of maps. There are different types of maps also. Number one, physical maps that shows the physical features of a place such as mountains, plateaus, plains, rivers, etc. And next type of maps are political maps that shows countries, states and their capitals, etc. General information about climate and rainfall of a region is shown in climatic maps. And beside these, there are thematical maps that tell us about the industries, population, transport, minerals, crops, soil, natural resources, forest, and wildlife of a region. Now, how can we read a map? Maps give us a lot of information about a country or a place. So we must know how to read a map and understand the information it provides. Every map has some basic features. What are these? Number one is directions. All the maps follow a system of directions. And the four major directions are north, south, east, and west. And the top of the map is always north direction. The bottom of the map is obviously the south direction. East is to the right side and the west is to the left of the map. And the direction of a map can also be shown by an arrow marked N, which points towards the north direction. And the other direction are then easy to find. We can also mark the four intermediate directions on a map. And what are intermediate directions? The directions in between the major directions are called intermediate directions. Like northeast lies between the north and the east. Northwest is between the north and the west. Southeast is between the south and the east direction. And southwest lies between the south and the west. Now, second point is, or second basic feature is scale. It is not possible to show the accurate size of the earth on a map because it is too large. So let us suppose that the ground distance between Delhi and Agra is 200 kilometer, but it is not possible to show these cities at 200 kilometer from each other on a map. So therefore, this distance is represented by a smaller unit, say 5 centimeter on the map. And the ratio between the distance on the ground and the distance on the map is shown as the scale of the map. In this case, we would write as 5 kilometers, no, not 5 centimeter ratio 200 kilometers. Okay, the maps are always drawn to scale. Now, next basic this feature is symbol. There is not enough space on a map to show mountains, rivers, lakes, bridges, dams, temples, churches, and railway tracks, etc. So, however, the map without this information would not be useful at all. So, different symbols that are therefore used on a map to give us this information. These symbols are marks which have a particular meaning. For example, the land boundary of a country is shown by thick dashes and dots in black, and a city is marked by a small circle. Now, fourth basic feature of the maps is colors. We use different colors to show various things on a map. Generally, maps follow a common color scheme. For example, on a physical map, water bodies are shown in shades of blue. Light blue is used for shallow waters and darker shade of blue for deeper water. Plains or lowlands are shown in shades of green and highlands are shown in shades of brown. And a key is given on a map to help us understand the color scheme and the symbols used. So it's key. Look at the map given here. Its key shows the height of land above sea level or depth of water below the sea level. It is also shows what the color represent on the map. So this way we can better understand about the maps. Now that's all in this chapter. Thank you.